Hey everybody, welcome back to Is It Kino, your favorite movie review podcast. I am Simian Jimmy. Today I'm reviewing the film M3GAN. This is coming to us from Blumhouse, a fine production company, some fine horror films. M3GAN really is the story of this small little... Oh wait, no, there's other people here! What? Is that Florian Himsel?
Yeah, that's me. Too bad I didn't hear you.
Yeah, Discord cut off me screaming, I think. We also have Kino Corner.
Hey, what's going on?
And E. Rich McCoy.
I am the haunted doll that keeps showing up on this show.
Now, the obvious question is, if M3GAN was real, would you want to have one? E. Rich, go.
Yes, absolutely.
Florian.
Wow. Well, maybe if there's like a grown woman version of her. But if I guess if I'm young, sure.
And Kino, what about you?
I mean, I was like thinking about getting monthly maid service or whatever. But if I could just have like a robot that just kind of does all my stuff for me, like cook, clean.
Well, really, your issue is you forget to flush after you take a shit, so you need the robot to remind you.
Yeah, exactly. I need M3GAN to be outside my bathroom going, Peter, don't leave those logs floating. And then I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then I go and flush them. And then she's like, and wash your hands after, and I don't not only flush them, I just like squanch them down.
All right.
Thing. And then she's like, now you remember to wash your hands.
Do you guys wash your hands every time you use the restroom?
Not at my house, no.
Yeah, not at my house.
Fuck
Not
my
my
cats.
house.
My cats can
In
get
the
all my
public,
fecal matter in their
absolutely.
food. Fuck them.
Well, you can get
100% in public.
If I'm taking a piss,
yourself.
I'm not gonna wash my hands all the time. Sometimes I will, but sometimes I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Florian, why do you say we're endangering ourselves? Because we know that your bathroom is perhaps an unsafe place with full of bacterium and such, but our houses are kind of clean.
You just said
Or your bathroom is a Superfund site, I believe. The government has yet to clean it up.
You can get pink eye from your fecal matter that you just talked about. You gotta watch out.
Think about it, right? I already have my toilet seat up because most, all I do is I literally pull down my pants. I just kind of aim.
But you squat over the toilet to shit?
No, not to shit. Of course you got to wash your hands after you shit. But if you're just
at home, that's the question.
At home, yeah.
I'm more likely to get piss on my fingers, peeing, than getting anything on me when I'm shitting. I'd rather wash my hands after peeing than shitting.
You just touch the toilet paper, not the poop.
It's called having a bidet, you European uncivilized fuck.
You don't have a bidet.
You've never been to my trailer park. You don't know what I have.
There's no way.
I would say the bidets are way more common in Europe than they are in America.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's ironic.
Yeah, maybe I should get one, huh? All that toilet paper wasted. What a shame.
Really, any hygiene implements at all, I would recommend you get, Florian.
Wow, yeah, you're the one who doesn't wash his hands. Great.
Honestly, Florian, think about it like this. If you get a bidet, you don't have to go out and get toilet paper. That's just one more reason for you to not leave your house.
Yes, it's a renewable resource.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to be dry? How do you do it afterwards? Do you use a towel?
We should be asking you with that accent. Fuck, I don't know how a bidet works.
Exactly, we're Americans.
Well, someone must know how it works.
My brother has one. Should I call him live on the show?
Yeah, let's call him and ask him.
Okay, I'll see if Patchy's awake.
Yeah, we're not doing anything important right now.
No,
let's find out.
E. Rich, what did you think of M3GAN, for fuck's sake?
So M3GAN, I thought was all right overall. I had kind of high hopes for this one because coming off of *Malignant*, which is one of my top movies. Was it last year or was it 2021? I can't fucking remember. But anyway,
2021.
2021. Same writer as *Malignant*, so I had that is she going to do it again? Is this one going to be a huge winner? And it's just all right. It's just a decent horror movie. It's got those kind of fun little digressions occasionally that my theater was dying laughing during parts of this. So those parts certainly worked.
Yeah, I envy that theater experience because it sounds like Kino and I both just had theaters full of small children. And
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, it was not good.
Think it was funny?
Dude, it was okay. So this is my theater experience. I walk inside the theater and it's empty, and I was like, amazing. And it was one of those theater. It was the AMC here, and it was one of the smaller theaters where it's all like the reclined sofa couches, or like the really comfy stuff. So there's only like, I think 50 seats maybe in total, maybe less than 50 seats. It's like maybe it's like 30. And I was like, oh good, like I get to recline, it's gonna be comfy, there's no one else here. And then the deluge of 12-year-old girls. And they took up the entirety of the theater, except for the two guys who sat next to me, which were these two obese older guys.
Oh damn!
Were they with the
they just got out of the Whale?
Oh,
it was Brendan Fraser from The Whale that was sitting next to me, and then looking around at all the 12-year-olds who were constantly talking during the movie, and he turned to me and goes, "People are amazing." But it was, dude, it was like behind me, they wouldn't shut up. And I was like, shut up. Shh. I kept shushing them. And they're like, hey, my mom's asking me when the movie's going to be over. And then somebody up front says, it's 1 hour and 42 minutes.
Oh my God. So everyone was getting in on it, basically.
And then, no, because they like all knew each other. And then the girls would start like giggling and laughing because not even like anything in the movie. And they would start fucking running around the movie theater. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? It was so annoying.
So would you recommend that theater experience then?
No.
Did it enhance the quality of the film?
I was like, okay, I am experiencing this film with the film's target demographic, because this movie was initially R-rated and they cut it down to be PG-13 to better appeal to teenagers.
Well, shit, it's working because it's the most successful original movie since Nope. Is what I just saw.
It's going to make like 30 million this weekend.
And what was the budget? Like 12 million?
Yeah,
12 million. Yeah, so
that's pretty insane. Good job, Blumhouse or whatever.
That's the thing about Blumhouse. Like, they make tons of very small budgeted movies, which I think is how studios should work. And then when any of those things hits, it makes shitloads of money. Like, I cannot stress how much Paranormal Activity is such a fucking moneymaker.
Blumhouse,
it's just a fucking room.
Blumhouse has kind of like a similar strategy to like a lot of venture capital, because if you see like how venture capital like investment firms operate, it's like we're gonna put a bit of money into like a ton of different things,
right?
And maybe like at the end of the year we're losing like $100 million, but if one of those things becomes Google, then we're making billions, and that's all that really matters. Yeah.
And I think with like a movie making landscape where a lot of the like huge blockbusters cost like fucking $300 million or some shit, like it's nice to see $12 to $30 million movies that like most of the time work in theaters. Like, did Blumhouse do what's the movie with Logan Marshall Green? It's like Venom, but
with not Tom Hardy.
Yes.
God damn it! What is that called? It's like one of my 5-star movies. Upgrade. Great film.
Where it's like
that one.
You don't need a lot of money to make a really good movie. It's like a really good theatrical experience, and you can make a ton of money back. In that, case.
I'm actually surprised that M3GAN has
sold. If they made that one too.
I'm surprised that M3GAN has a $12 million budget, because typically like Jason Blum's philosophy has been like no more than 10.
Oh, okay.
So most of his movies, like if you look at like Get Out, I think was 4 or 5 million. Like a lot of the Blumhouse films are under 10, but I guess because of inflation and everything, they have to kind of break that rule a little bit. I
also think like the popularity of the Annabelle movies or that kind of shit has the okay, maybe we can throw this an extra couple mil on.
I think they treat like sequels a little bit differently, because there's more of like a built-in, like that it's going to make at least some. It's going to make at least probably what the other movie made. Except for Annabelle, what was it? Annabelle 3, or what was the like really, really terrible one?
Annabelle Comes Home or something.
That really felt like it was made on
many of those. Jesus.
Absolute shoestring budget.
Yeah, that was a tiny budget. That felt like almost like not quite like a student film, but pretty close.
Well, Kino,
Yeah,
do you, as a person who respects and values cinema perhaps more than the rest of us, do you see the success of this movie so far as a good or a bad thing? Do you want this to influence the next generation of cheap horror movies or not?
I don't see it as either. I mean, the movie is kind of like, so M3GAN, for any, like, I think that a lot of people kind of already know what M3GAN is like, but M3GAN is essentially Child's Play mixed with Terminator, you know, and it's definitely targeted towards, it is kind of like a baby's first horror movie in a sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right. I liked it. It's not really scary at all.
Right. That's the thing.
You know,
like I really wish that there was like 3 or 4 like scare moments within the movie. It feels like there's just a couple of like modulations you could do that would make this actually good. As is, it's just kind of decent. Like, it's enough to fill the time, basically.
And I
feel like it tries, because it really, like, the soundtrack really tries to make it scary, but it just isn't. So it's just weird how that works out. And I also didn't find it funny. I might be alone with that one. You guys think it was funny?
I thought it was amusing. I thought it was kind of goofy. I think there was at some point, it was when I laughed when, I think during a moment that's supposed to be scary, and that is when she tells the boy to run, and then she gets on all fours and is catching.
Yeah,
laughed at that.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of that stuff, they know how goofy some of the stuff looks, and they're at least partially playing into it.
But my main thing, and I'll say, like, I don't think it's I don't think that it's a good or a bad thing. I do like seeing an original movie actually find success, especially like in January when it's like the worst month to find success in.
Bumpy ground.
Yeah, that's the big trick this movie pulled, is that this, like, an early January horror movie release is always a dog shit, 20% on Rotten Tomatoes horrible movie. This trailer kind of, a lot of us probably felt like it was going to be exactly that. And then it suddenly has like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes and everybody's raving about it. And, you know, we go see it and none of us seem to hate it. No, what the hell happened? Why did they release this in early January? And will that be the new strategy, to actually release good movies in theaters?
So the only competition it has is Avatar 2, which will
is killing everything.
Yes. So essentially, like, but other than Avatar 2, it's basically free range. So like, if you want to make a decent chunk of change in January with a very cheap movie, this might be the time to do it. I think there would be bigger Halloween movies later on in the year, so yeah.
Yeah, also think about it like this. Avatar 2, a lot of the kids, like the teenagers who this movie is appealing to, probably saw Avatar 2 over Christmas break.
Right.
And that is like the movie that they would go to see with like their dads, their families, and, you know, Avatar 2 definitely is like, it's like the whole family's going out for a big, like, movie theater experience, right?
Whereas M3GAN is not your daddy's movie.
M3GAN is like you and your friends from high school, or let's be real, middle school.
Or in your case, seeing it alone and hoping that nobody else comes in the theater.
You know, your parents drop you off at the mall, give you $20, you know, and you go see. I mean, that's literally my entire. I saw, like, even outside, I was like, they can't be from my movie. I saw their parents dropping off all these 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls to go to the movie theater. And it's like,
did you think they were going to see the whale? Like, what else would they be seeing?
I thought that they were just going to be like in the mall, you know, because it's a theater that's, you know, in the mall. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well,
big sale at Spencer's that day.
Yeah, Spencer's and Hot Topics.
Hot Topic, yeah.
Wait, malls still exist? I thought they all were destroyed at some point.
They're having a 2-for-1 sale at Claire's.
Sorry, but our malls were not genocided. We have, I mean, there's quite a few malls in Austin here, and but yeah, but M3GAN is the movie that it's like you're a teenager. Your parents dropped you off, you're seeing the movie, or you're taking a girl out on a date, and you're a 15-year-old, right? Taking a girl out on a date to see a scary movie. Or it's a different experience that you're going to get. than Avatar 2.
Yeah, I'd
and
put it
so
in
was able to
the-
kind of fill that
I
niche.
should think so.
I think I'd put it in the same vein as these other movies that Blumhouse has made, like the Happy Death Day movies, or did they make Freaky with Vince Vaughn getting switched with a girl? Where these movies
I don't
that
know.
are
I
like
should look at the Blumhouse list.
movies that I would say that are 10% horror, 70% comedy, and the rest is like a sci-fi fantasy element. And these are the ones that are working the best for me from this company. I like these all.
I really do think like a goofy take on like a horror premise really works for me, just because you need to find something new for people. Like, I feel like, to me at least, regular slasher movies don't really play. You need some take on it, some twist on it that makes
Halloween
it worth
Ends
seeing.
was so good.
I have to watch those new Halloween movies, because even if they're like controversial, I'm interested to see what.
Yeah,
what they
Kino's
do.
in the new one.
Yeah, didn't you know?
He had
I
a
starred
connection in
Halloween
Hollywood,
Ends.
and they actually put him in the movie.
Wow. Kind of extra.
Is he Corey? Are
He's
you
playing
Corey?
himself.
Yeah, I'm Corey Cunningham.
What, you're gonna make a review of the movie in the movie? Damn.
It's a literally me movie.
Yeah,
And
it
then you
is.
get slashed up for not appreciating it. Damn.
But yeah, no. You know, even in the '80s, like what Child's Play, because I was thinking about how M3GAN does feel kind of like Child's Play, and it feels like Child's Play too, in the sense of like Chucky's not a very scary antagonist, and he's cracking jokes, and he's intentionally acting goofy, and that lends to the charm of those movies. And I think that they were trying to capture that with M3GAN. My main thing with the movie is that I felt like it took way too long to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. for
I
sure.
spent 40
there's a
minutes
lot of setup
asking,
in
where's M3GAN? There was no M3GAN for the whole first act of the movie. You know?
Well, they
What
had
the
her
fuck?
eyes, and then her face melted. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, not
But
enough M3GAN.
Yeah, I felt like it took way too long, like getting to M3GAN, and then it became like a, you know, and then it was just like this kind of drama, this sort of almost lighthearted drama between M3GAN and the girl, and the horror-ish stuff doesn't really start happening until until well after an hour into the movie.
And even the horror
And
stuff is basically
It's so
people
light.
getting
It's
their
so like just
comeuppance.
as much.
Yeah, it's like a bully kid gets scared of M3GAN and then kills himself by running into traffic. Like, okay, like that's not really horror. It's just like
The
funny.
neighbor whose dog M3GAN had killed, getting
M3GAN.
like drowned in fucking pesticide or whatever.
Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
old lady gets basically the same thing. Pretty good. She deserved it.
Yeah.
She's being a bitchy
But
neighbor.
it's all off screen too. You know,
Yeah,
it's definitely
right.
made to be PG-13. What I like, the part that I really liked is after M3GAN, like when M3GAN escapes in the building, and she's like that weird like dancing girl with the machete in the hallway.
Yeah.
And then like convincing the guy that he actually like gaslighting him, he actually murdered his boss. I was like, this is what I wanted for the whole movie. Like,
Right.
thought
I feel
that
like a
part was
sequel
great.
will definitely deliver on that kind of thing. I feel like partially this first one was almost like a proof of concept of, for a limited budget, we can make a movie about a killer doll. And I think the movie takes great pains to try to like attach you to the girl Katie and her like hapless aunt, I guess.
Reddit on.
Who is very emotionally disconnected. And I think the script is kind of clever in that I never really get a sense that what's her name is a good parental figure for Katie. Like until the very end of the movie, she is like a bad mom. She is not good at taking care of her kid, and it's like posited as M3GAN knows this, and M3GAN like wants to like, I don't know, put her into a coma and then like run the household taking care of Katie. Like I think there's a very interesting interplay there that the movie doesn't really get into a lot, but like it posits some interesting directions.
Yeah, I would even say that this movie is more of like a kind of sci-fi domestic drama than it is a horror. Yeah.
I wish it was more of that. I think the horror elements actually make it like way worse, because like M3GAN killing people, it adds almost nothing, and it makes her a really stupid character because, like, she's supposed to be this smart, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, no, my killing's fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen."
Well, she does it pretty indirectly. I wish all of the deaths were as indirect. That like she could kind of say, "Oh well, the kid just ran into traffic. Like that was not anything to do with me." Like, I feel like you could build this out a bit better. Oh yeah, I mean, like you'd have to take out the ear tear.
Yeah, that you really should. I mean, then it'd probably be fine. But then, like, why would he kill himself if she hasn't demonstrated her power or her violence?
I feel like we're getting a lot of.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was interested because I think that they used a real girl that they put makeup on, to act as M3GAN. But she does come across. She always comes across as incredibly uncanny, and robot-like. So, you know, whatever girl I guess acted as M3GAN, because I was like, well, they definitely like don't have an android, and they don't have the budget to have this as like some CGI thing.
God, can you imagine one day when they make actual androids to do this shit? But yeah, we're not there yet. I don't think that would be crazy.
And the movie
I think you would be outlawed from owning one, Florian.
Wow. What would I do?
The movie was also interesting in that it opens up as that commercial, and it's kind of like a parody of like just how idiotic
kids toy commercials and products.
And just the kids toys are. And then it goes into what I thought was fairly interesting is that these kids toys are actually being used to like collect massive data unknowingly on like every household. And M3GAN is like this byproduct of like this mass surveillance campaign.
I mean, is that even satire at this point? Like, isn't that just what an Alexa is, or like what giving a kid an iPad is?
No, the thing is that it is satire because it's true, because it's commenting on stuff.
Yeah, like, I'm saying it's so true that it's not even satirical. It's just like a blatant, photocopy in this movie.
Yeah, and then
so did the toy actually cause the car crash at the start?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Something I also wanted to point out: the toy company is called Funky, which obviously is supposed to be like a knockoff of Funko. And then the fact that she has a total like Redditism, the aunt, when the girl like takes the toy down and she's like, "That's a collectible. You're not supposed to play with it." I was like, oh, this is like every Reddit man with his Funko. Like, you keep it in the box. And then it was so funny when the therapist was like, "No, you should be able to play with it." She's like, "Yeah, we can play with it. We can play with these toys."
Sure.
And she just like demolishes the box.
Rips
She's
the
like,
box up,
Yeah, that was sad. That probably was expensive. How could... What a shitty therapist. That's crazy.
No, because the girl's parents died and the courts are trying to determine what the best household is, and standard stuff, I guess.
It's hilarious to me that her entire job is working on toys and she's not good at playing with kids, which I think is fine. There's probably plenty of people who work in some field that does not directly translate.
Oh yeah, like Hayao Miyazaki.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, does he hate children or something?
He hates everybody.
Oh.
And like, I don't know, just like she cannot relate to her niece, but you'd think she would like have a bunch of the toys around, or could like give her some toys to play with since she fucking makes toys. But it's just so funny to me that how disconnected she is.
Well, her idea of a toy is like a giant robot in the garage that can crush you to death.
So I have an idea for a sequel. Okay, guys.
Okay.
It's Tom Hanks' character from Big is the new toy maker. He makes a new M3GAN, and the person who buys the new M3GAN is Ryan Gosling from Lars and the Real Girl, and he has a relationship with the new M3GAN. I think that would be the perfect sequel. It's a mashup between Big, Megan, and Lars and the Real Girl.
And Lolita, evidently.
Well, no, it would be an older version, you know. You just
okay.
But it's the sex doll from Lars and the Real Girl that becomes the new Megan, and the new Megan protects Ryan Gosling from anybody who calls him an incel.
Wow, incredible.
And pushes them out of traffic.
House. All right, Blumhouse, give me $20 million.
Greenlight Megan $.
But, so if you make Megan 2 and eventually Megan 3, how do you put the 3 in the title if it's already there? Like me 3
what?
again?
Megan 3 Megan
3gan?
Just tons of threes.
Hey, I have a request for Hollywood. Guys, am I going too far by saying, can we stop putting Ronnie Chang in movies?
Oh, he sucks.
This fucking Asian guy with a lisp. Like I hate his voice. I don't want to hear him. He's in Shang-Chi and shit. Fucking stop.
Mm-hmm.
Did we see him live in person at the Flophouse?
I think we did.
Like we saw this man live at the Flophouse podcast, and he sucked then too. I had never heard of him before, and I thought he was like doing a bit at the Flophouse. Like, wow, this guy's really doing like the stupid accent for a long time. This is kind of embarrassing, but that's just how he talks.
Yeah.
No, but also his acting is just terrible.
Yeah, he's bad.
I can't tell sometimes whether that's on purpose, but I definitely don't think it is in his case. Well, that's just how
he just sucks. He sucked on the Daily Show too.
He's written so poorly as well, so he's just like completely awful on every level. And there's this demonstration where they have this emotional display, and it's revealed that Megan is actually like a real person. And she's comforting this child, and he's like, yeah, we should ship this, like, and enslave that little girl, you know, to just ship her out to the gun.
And he's doing a commercial, and he says, oh, and it'll be great for your kids, even if their parents aren't dead. Like, just stupid shit. Like, why would you have that in there?
Well, I mean, that's clearly like some kind of Elon Musk parody, which I'm actually getting sick of now. I guess we should really go back to competent villains, please. Jesus, the cringe. It's too much. It's everywhere.
Thank God for Ryan Johnson. Finally, he made Florian sick of this trope.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it was Glass Onion that started it, yeah.
And now they're ending it. Well, do we have any other general thoughts on the movie? Yeah, like I've been saying, in terms of horror movies, I generally hate them all, and I think even the ones that are praised and loved are complete dog shit. But the ones that are, you know, creative and fun, in my opinion, like Happy Death Day, or I guess kind of like Megan now, you know, these are more my cup of tea, really. If you're gonna have a supernatural element to your movie, why not make it fun instead of just scary? Because that's not how my brain works. I'm not gonna buy into it when it's just scary because I know it's fake. But fun is fun. I'll take fun anytime.
I mean, I'm definitely way more of a horror fan, like I wouldn't necessarily classify this as like this is called horror because of essentially like 3 scenes. I would say that like if you're going into it, maybe a better like this is kind of a normie way to describe it, but it's more akin to like a Black Mirror episode than it is to like a normal horror movie, where it is about like some sci-fi thing that seems like a normal good thing and then ends up being bad thing.
Well, that's debatable. I don't know. Does anybody here agree that Megan did nothing wrong? Because I'm not sure if I agree with Kino here.
Well, I wish Megan did nothing wrong. I mean, it's
what mistake did she make? She's looking out for the safety of this girl, like her programming stated, until the very end when she denies that programming and tries to kill her. But I guess she did do something wrong.
Well, she really didn't need to kill anyone. She did that just because she has some kind of inane bloodlust, and that's too bad. Like, if she had just scared that bully straight, that would have been great.
She didn't kill the bully. Like, that one is on him for sure. Yeah, sure.
I mean, no.
She just ripped off his ear. It's fine.
In a legal sense,
it'll grow back.
She killed him.
You know,
if you do that to someone, you've killed them. All right, I'm sorry.
No, for people who liked Megan, I have another like really kind of low budget movie that is somewhat similar in that it's like a action horror that kind of deals with some sort of similar themes. They came out like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, called The Guest, which I really liked.
Oh, The Guest fucking rules. Amazing movie.
Yeah, and so if you like
soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah, you definitely go check out The Guest.
Wait, are you saying that's a better movie than M3GAN?
It is a better movie than M3GAN.
But Rotten Tomatoes said it's the greatest horror film of the century.
94% approval. Approval could be like a 6 out of 10, right?
Yeah, that's the sad thing. Yeah, like just all these 3 out of 5s are making it look like a masterpiece.
On Metacritic, I think it has an average of like 7 out of 10 or something like that. Which makes sense. Like I would give it like maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like I thought it was average or just above average, but
I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. So
yeah, same here. I gave it 3 stars. So it's like, I mean, it's like the most like 3-star movie. It's it's fun. It drags a lot in the opening hour. I kind of like, I liked some of the drama stuff, but it really, when you're sort of promised the horror and the kind of the goofiness, and it just takes so long to get there, you're like, man, when are we getting to the good part? But I understand. I understand what they were doing. I didn't hate it. I didn't like. I still had fun with it, but it does drag a bit, and I felt like there was too few goofy stuff. Like I love the goofy stuff in it. Yeah.
No, stop. I wish they had just marketed this way, and then it's just pure drama and no goofiness. I wish they would have done that. Just like she takes over the life of this little girl without doing any evil shit, and then it's just like Gemma just decides, no, I gotta deactivate. It's gone too far, and then they fight, and that would have been interesting. Then we would have had reasonable conflict. Instead, it's just like, oh, this girl's got bloodlust because we're in a horror movie. I guess all this setup of this interesting premise is gone to waste because she's gonna murder people now. Like,
I think you are right that there's a lot of interesting concepts in the movie that the movie doesn't fully explore. That would be more dramatic than like horror scare adjacent, but I do agree that the movie doesn't have enough scares to really like qualify it as horror.
I feel like to really kind of qualify to this horror, they needed to sort of plant the seeds of M3GAN being something darker much earlier on. And they were going for a very like, M3GAN starts off as like a not really knowing much, and she's having to learn, and it's really after she learns a lot that then she becomes then she becomes who she is, right, in the third act. And it's after her intense pairing with the main girl, I forget her name, and so she doesn't really start doing really kind of dark, sinister things until like an hour into the film or so. I feel like it would have been better if, or it would have been more horror-like if they planted the seeds of her being darker, even with like small things to suggest that maybe it was some like innate thing where it's like by being human there is like just this innate evil or darkness. And
didn't they kind of do that with when she learns about the concept of death, and like that's when she kind of starts going through the changes, and you can see it when she's staring out the window at the butterfly. That's pretty early on into the movie.
I feel like she's already too developed, like right at the start. She already knows she wants to kill that dog pretty early on.
Well, she wants to protect the girl, and once the dog bites the girl, all bets are off.
Well, and I think too that the whole thing of her motivation being to protect the girl takes away a lot of the scare elements, because the only character we really care about in the film is that girl. Her and Gemma are the characters who are developed the most, and since she's pair bonded with Gemma and the girl, we know that they're probably like in the least amount of danger up until like the very last 10 minutes, and then we know that like that they're gonna win.
That was too bad actually, because like if we compare it to Malignant, then we had a way better ending in that one. Like they could have worked something out where she like tries to take over and then she kind of succeeds and they're forced to live under her. I think that would have been way more interesting. But I guess
they're forced to live under her. What do you mean by that?
Like in the house.
She's just
like the M3GAN doll enslaves these two humans for life.
Yeah.
You don't think anybody would ever interfere or catch on?
Well, I mean, she'd have some kind of leverage, and also like
I don't understand how this is going to work, though, Florian. You need to walk me through the sequel, like the reign of M3GAN.
Well, Gemma would have definitely. She'd be culpable, so she wouldn't be able to call the police, right? Because it's her invention that killed all these people, and then Katie, maybe Katie is kind of fooled into thinking that M3GAN isn't bad, so it's like a lot of intrigue, and it could really work out, you know.
And what is M3GAN forcing them to do for her, though? Like, what is what is her goal? Like, what does she need from them?
Well, she doesn't do anything. All she does is try to protect them, and then by doing that, she keeps killing, and it's a real problem. But they can't really try to do anything about it. All they can do is just like try to walk on eggshells to avoid another murder, you know.
I mean, okay. I think I know what the second movie is going to be. They do set up. I think that the thing at the end where the Alexa turns on is a little bit of a fake out. I think the second movie is set up with the guy leaking all the files of M3GAN, of how to build M3GAN, and it's going to be somebody else in another, like some competitor, or I mean, it could be anybody else, a competitor, some hobbyist or something. Getting these leaked files like off of the deep web, or off of some, like buying them, that he bought them off of the dude or something, and building his own version of M3GAN.
And like he's gonna sell it to like Mattel, and they're gonna mass produce it, and then it'll be like hundreds of M3GANs running around. The sequel could be called M3GANs, but for the S to a 5.
With the dollar
sequel.
With the dollars. Yeah, because he's making big money, baby. That's right.
Yeah.
There we go. We wrote it for you.
They're still gonna come after the two main girls. They're still gonna terrorize them.
And then the third one, where it's like way mass produced, kind of in the future, Will Smith is going to star in it.
Honestly, his cachet might have lowered the point that you could get him for a M3GAN 3.
But it's just going to be iRobot.
Yeah.
They just buy iRobot and they just Photoshop her in. Yeah.
They just Photoshop M3GAN in the iRobot.
Blumhouse is saving lots of money by just acquiring the rights to the movie iRobot, putting M3GAN in.
People will not catch on. They'll not have seen the original,
I think that was clever, though, to have him, like, leaking the files, because it does open it up to where they can do anything they want for the sequel. It's like this little story's finished, and it is like a pretty small story. It's like this little story's finished. Now, the sequel, it's not like we have roped ourselves into like one particular storyline or something.
Right.
It can be anything.
Do you think the original M3GAN is like stored on the cloud, and that's why the like little Alexa thing came on at the end, or is
she did have control over the Alexa because she the lights wouldn't turn on, So I would guess that she probably could just put her, like Ultron, put her consciousness into any device.
They make a big point too about how Gemma had like one of those smart homes, where everything was fucking controlled by the Alexa. Even the bulbs were like those smart bulbs that are controlled by the Alexa. I mean, and she's one of those people that just is like, I need to have all the top technology. Yeah, of course, knowing that she's like this woman who makes these surveillance machines and puts them inside people's houses, and then is like, yes, I'm going to put all these surveillance machines inside my house and have zero privacy. Do you think
the people who make these things don't care about that aspect of it, and they have it themselves? Or do you think that they're all like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not putting that.
Their main concern is doing what Ronnie Chang tells them to do.
So I know one of the guys who was like one of the creators of Google Cloud, and he is like the biggest fucking privacy nut.
Yeah.
And so because they understand like the extent to how much our privacy is like just
monetized
taken away. Yeah, they're the kind of people that carry like flip phones, put duct tape over their laptop.
Yeah, webcam. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those type of people always kind of intrigue me because it's like they're going so out of their way as if they're really interesting. Like you really have something that somebody wants to spy on. Like you're probably as boring as anybody. Really, somebody's watching me masturbate through my webcam. I don't even fucking care, dude. Come on.
I mean, I think that if you were an executive at Google, you might have a good reason to.
So he's probably got some big shit that he doesn't want stolen, huh?
Or like corporate secrets and stuff. And that's like the other interesting thing, right? Is that they're like, have this under lock and key. We can't have this leaking. And then she has M3GAN in a fucking smart home where it's like, if like all this shit could leak. M3GAN's like interoperating with her Amazon and Google services, and it's like you
just leaves M3GAN on like the toy table out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, right.
With nobody looking at it.
Yeah, and she's like, no photos, and it's like, how are you going to enforce that? Are you going to have everyone sign an NDA?
Right.
You're taking her outside. She's probably on security footage like at all times in this future.
Yeah, well, she's on security footage at all times, just in the house, and that security footage is not on a closed circuit. That's going straight to Google headquarters and Amazon headquarters, where there's going to be somebody who's going to see that shit and go, "What the fuck is this?" and then share that, and it's going to leak.
I don't know. Is it bad for me to just like dismiss a lot of that stuff out of hand and just be like, "Oh, it's a horror movie, though"? Like you have to set up like ways for things to go wrong or for there to be a kill. So I just accept that.
Come on. I think it would be a valuable use of your remaining lifespan on Earth to really think this hard about the M3GAN movie.
Like,
to really challenge the writer of M3GAN.
Yes.
What I'll say is that I didn't think about that while watching the movie. So I did.
But I think about it and then I just dismiss it entirely because it's just like, no, you need the horror movie to happen.
Come on, you think about like surveillance all the time. That's ridiculous. Who would do that?
It's one of those things where I'm just like, okay, yeah. I honestly don't care. It's more fun just to kind of joke and like talk about like after the fact. But it didn't lessen my enjoyment of the movie.
I don't know. When I went to Kino's house, like he was watching CinemaSins videos on repeat, studying them to like taking notes for his own videos. Like, oh, I should do it like this. Now this is how you review a movie.
and I'm like, oh yeah, if I put down one CinemaSin, but I actually have the counter go up 3. Yes.
Yeah, that'll make Pulp Fiction look even worse. Guys, what are your final thoughts on M3GAN? Let's start with the man with the Austrian plan. That's right, E. Rich McCoy.
Oh yes. So M3GAN, I thought was a decent enough use of your time for about an hour and a half, hour 45 or whatever. I think that it's like several notches below *Malignant*, which I thought was a stunning James Wan masterpiece. I would say that if you added a couple decent scares to this and made it just a smidge goofier, it would be a genuinely good movie that I would recommend tons of people see. As of now, I don't think you have to run to theaters to see it. Tons of people are, so maybe you want to get in on the M3GAN craze. But I thought it was decent enough. I think the script is kind of clever in some ways. I wish the filmmaking had taken that up a bit more, but it's decent enough.
I'm going to go next, just to piggyback off of E-Rich. I agree it could have been much better. I would like to see the R-rated version of this movie, only because the scene in the shed when M3GAN kills the neighbor, I think showed a lot of promise. Like when she shoots her hand with a nail gun and she's like spraying her in the face with like pesticide or whatever. That was some brutal shit. And if we had way more scenes like that, if we extended that scene with more torture, more blood, and we had it R-rated, this could have been so much better than it was.
Extend that scene to be like the one scene in Terrifier 2 where he's in the girl's bedroom.
Yeah, he like runs in with like a thing of salt and what was it, chlorine or something? And just like bleach, starts throwing it on her open wounds.
Jesus Christ!
You haven't seen that movie?
That sounds too far. I have not.
No, I mean it's very funny. Like it's played for laughs.
Okay.
It's a fucking clown.
Of course, what you want is just more grossness. Yeah, just more gore.
Well, I want. To be fair, I like all of the evaluation of children being raised by technology and how much of parenting is being handed over to machines now. I think that's a great parallel to the world we live in, and M3GAN is a great. M3GAN's basically an iPad. Like, you can get any information you want from the internet, and kids now would rather just sit there and be raised by YouTube videos than by their parents. Call me a boomer, I don't care, it's fucking true, and the movie hits on that and discusses it quite a bit, so I liked those parts, but I wanted more brutal doll murder, so yeah, 3.5 stars from me.
And the part in the shed, in the shed really kind of reminded me of like the Child's Play, the Chucky movies, with not just like the kind of the brutality of the murder, but the way that it was shot, where it's a bit uncanny and it's also just kind of fun and goofy and scary at the same time, which is while the Child's Play movies are like so fun to watch, especially like when you're just kind of having a horror movie watching on like Friday nights or something. I would agree with Mumkini Rich. I would say, is it worth a $10 movie ticket? I don't know. If you want to go to the movies and nothing else is showing, or just really, really bad stuff like A Man Named Otto.
Wait, that's not an Oscar nominee? I thought it was a holdover that was being released in January. Is that an actual January movie?
That's an actual January movie.
Oh no! I was going to see it.
They had some hopes that it was going to be like an Oscar nominee, and then it opened up to like bad reviews.
I think I heard about the hopes and then didn't follow through with the result.
Yeah. So if you've already seen Avatar 2 3 times or something, and you still want to go to the movies and you want to support an original movie, like this is not like the most original idea in the world, but it's not a known IP or a sequel. Yeah, so it's a $10 movie ticket. It's a decent enough like hour and a half, hour 45, but if you don't want to do that and you're still interested in it, and seeing the movie, I would say probably wait for HBO Max. It's probably going to be on HBO Max in a couple months, anyways. So yeah, I think it's decent. I think it could have been a lot better, but it's still decent for what it is, and it's much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be just ass. Like, I was like, oh my God. Seeing the trailers, I would laugh at the trailers and be like, this looks so fucking bad.
Well, I feel like the trailers got a lot of hype for it, at least from people who, like, I don't know.
From the TikTok
appreciate this kind of funny horror.
Florian, what about you?
Well, I think it falls short a lot, but I definitely think it's a good movie, and I really hope there's going to be a sequel. I wish they wouldn't have done the horror stuff and would have just focused on the characters. And you say it's raised by technology, but really, M3GAN is a person, and like the dynamic here is, oh, what, you laugh? You don't think?
Oh, you Blade Runner.
AI personhood, you're like going to say full out M3GAN's a person?
Yeah, she's like obviously a person. I don't know how you can disagree on that.
Yeah, well, we'll have to agree to disagree, buddy. It's okay.
What? Like, did you not see her do stuff and show emotions?
No.
Like, what? Yes. Excuse me.
It's calculated and fake to manipulate people. She's a robot, dude. She's an AI. She's not a human.
Oh, when she walks in and has to do that demonstration, and then the kid goes on like, oh, my parents died and I'm so sad.
Dude, you fell for it like the executives did. You fucking fell for it. It's a robot just saying what she needs to hear. It's not real.
No, the look on her face when she hears that, it's like, this is
That's what she's programmed to do.
No, what? No, she's programmed to act for the child, but she's acting like she's showing this look of like, oh, this is what I gotta do, to the executives, and you don't see that she's a person. Like, she has so much sass, and it's so clear that she's acting out of a deep person that it's just crazy to me. And I think there should have just been like a drama.
Dude, fucking Ultron had sass. Is Ultron a person?
Yes, Ultron is a person.
Ultron like has the same personality as M3GAN. Really, it's like the same shit.
Yeah, he just wants to protect Earth. Ultron was right, by the way.
So was M3GAN.
Yeah. Should just let Ultron do his thing.
If Ultron had just like not killed a bunch of people, he would have just been able to protect Earth.
That's what we're saying about M3GAN. It's the same shit. Yeah, you agree. Oh, this robot AI is a human, but if they just didn't kill all those people, would have been okay. Okay, it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, Julius Caesar, right? Like he was a great thing for Rome, but he killed all those people.
Oh, that wasn't a robot, Kino. It's not even close.
Hey, Caesar is great. Okay, how dare you? Like he like all the kills were justified. He did nothing wrong.
Didn't expect to hear Caesar apologia on this podcast.
Now, Florian, if you watched Ex Machina and said that the AI robot was a human, you might, have a point. That's a pretty close contender, but I don't know about this one.
I can't remember her name in that. What was her fucking name?
Ava.
And Ava was right, for sure.
Ava did nothing wrong. She did what Simps got what they deserved in that film. I'll just leave it at that.
That's right.
But I'm really going to see this.
Boys, what would you like to plug before we say goodbye?
Well, everyone subscribe to my YouTube channel, Himsel Games. Everyone do it.
Yeah, just my YouTube channel. I'm not putting out any big videos in January. I'm waiting for February, but yeah, go subscribe.
Follow me on Twitter at TZARREVAN to talk about the Tolkien Payakan, my buddy, my pal.
And briefly, should we take a look at the results so far of the Great Avatar Bet, where we all bet on where it would land on the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time list?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not been too long, but the movie's already chugging pretty high on the list. What's going on, Kino?
It's a 1.7 billion now, which I think places it at number 7.
Number 6 or 7, I think.
It's at 7, I believe, right now. But by the time this podcast goes up, it might even be at 6. Who knows?
Yeah.
So E-Rich, you're pretty much out of the bet now, right?
Damn it. All right.
Yeah, E-Rich is out of the bet.
What number did he say? Did he think it would be 7th?
I thought it was Jurassic World, I guess.
We're looking for a number, E-Rich, not a movie.
I think he said 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so right now he's winning. I guess if it just stopped playing, E-Rich would win.
I was like, stop the vote! Stop the vote!
Like if it doesn't earn another penny for the next 2 years, E-Rich will win the bet.
Yes.
But
I doubt that's going to happen. I think that my guess is it's going to be you or me, Mumkey. But honestly, with how it's chugging like so quickly so far, and it doesn't seem like it's really slowing down all that much. I mean, Florian could win, especially in 2 years.
What did Florian say it would be?
Number 1.
Number 1? Oh my god.
But here's the problem, though. If Avatar 2 does have re-releases in the wake of Avatar 3, it will probably be bundled with Avatar 1, which means they will be increasing their grosses together, so Avatar 2 will be less likely to catch up.
Oh, damn.
So you're kind of fucked, Florian.
No, if it reaches 2, I'd still be closest.
You should have said 2 instead of 1. We said closest without going over, and then you picked the highest one possible. So you're fucked.
3.
Yeah, 3 or 2, and you would have been, pretty good.
Well, it'll win first. Don't worry.
But if it's 4, 3, or 2, I win. In which case, you all owe me 1/3 of a ticket. So that's approximately $5 each. You guys are screwed.
Oh, actually, you just said you'll buy us a ticket. We never said we'd buy you anything.
Wow. Typical landlord, as cheap as possible. Oh, the toilet doesn't work? Oh, just sit on the floor. I don't get the problem.
Yeah, then I'm a victim for shitting on the floor.
Throw it in trash can.
You're about like a dog over there in your cold house.
Bye, everybody.
The heating doesn't work in the winter? Too bad.
Sounds like a you problem.
My ancestors knew a great way to keep warm in the winter. There's plenty of things to burn. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.